Rome did not collapse in a single night, so there was no more final scream, no more dramatic moment where the world knew the greatest empire in history had fallen. Instead, Rome died slowly, quietly, and painfully, weakened from within long before enemies ever reached its gates. What you are about to hear is not the fashion taught in schools. This is the real story, the hidden faucets, the silent mistakes, and the uncomfortable truths behind how ancient Rome really fell. Stay with me until the very end, because once you understand the story, you'll realize that Rome didn't disappear. It warned every civilization that came after it. At its height, ancient Rome controlled nearly the entire known world. Its roads connected continents. Its armies were unstoppable. Its laws shaped civilization itself. From Britain to North Africa, from Spain to the Middle East, Rome ruled with iron discipline and unmatched organization. To the outside world, Rome looked eternal, invincible, untouchable. But beneath the marble statues and golden banners, cracks had already begun to form. Rome wasn't destroyed by one enemy. It was destroyed by a series of decisions that slowly poisoned its own foundation. One of Rome's greatest strengths became one of its deadliest weaknesses: expansion. The empire grew too large, too fast. What began as controlled conquest turned into uncontrollable sprawl. Many distant provinces required endless armies, endless money, and endless loyalty. But loyalty was fading. Governors grew corrupt, generals became power-hungry, and soldiers began fighting not for Rome, but for individual commanders who promised wealth and power. The empire was strong on maps, but fragile in reality. The Roman military, once legendary for discipline and unity, slowly transformed into something dangerous. Soldiers were no more longer citizens defending their home. They were mercenaries, often foreigners, fighting for pay. Loyalty shifted away from Rome and toward whoever paid more. When armies can be bought, empires can be sold. This shift quietly eroded Rome's ability to defend itself from within. No more wall is strong when the men guarding it no more longer believe in what they protect. Economic collapse followed close behind. Rome's economy was built on conquest, slavery, and constant expansion. When conquest slowed, so did wealth. Gold and silver flowed out of Rome faster than it came in. To survive, emperors devalued currency, reducing the silver content of coins until money lost its meaning. Prices skyrocketed, trade collapsed, the poor suffered while elites insulated themselves behind power and privilege. Economic inequality grew wider than ever, and resentment replaced unity. As money lost value, trust vanished with it. Farmers abandoned land they could no longer afford to maintain. Cities emptied, infrastructure decayed, roads cracked, aqueducts failed. The physical signs of collapse appeared long after the damage had already been done. Rome still looked powerful, but it was rotting from the inside out. Politics became a battlefield of its own. Emperors rose and fell with alarming speed. Assassination became routine. Civil wars became frequent. In some decades, Rome had multiple emperors, rulers crowned by armies and killed by the next army that marched in. Power stopped being about leadership and became about survival. When leaders rule through fear instead of reason, stability vanishes. The Senate, once a symbol of governance and law, became meaningless. Real authority shifted to generals and palace insiders. Corruption spread everywhere. Positions were bought, justice was sold, and loyalty was temporary. Rome lost something far more important than territory. It lost purpose. Citizens no longer believed in the empire, they simply lived inside it. Culturally, Rome was changing as well. Traditional Roman values like discipline, civic duty, and sacrifice slowly faded. Public life became centered on entertainment and spectacle. Gladiator games distracted the masses while problems deepened beneath the surface. The phrase "bread in circuses" wasn't a compliment, it was a warning. When citizens auto-fed distractions instead of truth, decay accelerates. Religious shifts also played a role. The rise of Christianity transformed Roman identity. While this shift brought moral structure and community, it also created tension with traditional Roman institutions. Pagan rituals that once unified the empire faded, replaced by ideological divisions. Rome was no longer spiritually unified. While religion alone did not destroy Rome, the fractured identity weakened social cohesion during critical moments. Then came the pressures from the outside. Barbarian tribes, Goths, Vandals, Franks, and Huns were not simply savage invaders as Roman Litas claimed. Men were desperate migrants fleeing climate change, famine, or stronger enemies. Rome failed to integrate them properly. Instead of managing the situation intelligently, Roman officials exploited and abused these groups, turning potential allies into enemies. The sack of Rome in 410 shocked the world. For centuries, Rome had been seen as untouchable. When the city fell, even briefly, it shattered the illusion of eternal power. But this was not the end. Rome still existed, still ruled on paper, yet symbolically, something had broken. Faith in Rome's immortality was gone. The final collapse of the Western Roman Empire in 476 was almost anticlimactic. There was no more dramatic battle, no more heroic last stand. A young emperor was quietly removed from power. The world simply moved on. Rome had already been dead for generations. What fell was only the shell. But here is the real secret history rarely discussed. Rome didn't fail because it grew weak. It failed because it forgot why it was strong. It lost discipline. It lost unity. It lost accountability. Empires do not die from invasion, they die from decay long before enemies arrive. What makes Rome terrifyingly relevant is not how it fell, but how familiar its mistakes feel. Economic inequality, political corruption, over-expansion, military loyalty to individuals, not institutions, distracted populations, cultural division. Rome's story is not ancient history, it is a mirror. Even in collapse, Rome never truly disappeared. Its ideas survived. Its laws inspired modern legal systems. Its architecture shaped cities. Its language shaped Europe. The empire died, but its shadow never left. That shadow is exactly why Rome still matters today. Understanding how ancient Rome really fell is not just about the past. It is about recognizing warning signs. Rome teaches one brutal lesson above all others. No matter how powerful a civilization becomes, it is never immune to its own decisions. And that is the untold truth. Rome didn't fall because it was attacked. Rome fell because it stopped protecting what made it great. If you stayed this far, you are not just watching history, you are understanding it. This channel exists to uncover the stories hidden beneath myths and forgotten truths. If you want to explore more untold histories, dark empires, and secrets the world tried to forget, now is the time to become part of this journey. History is repeating itself all around us, and those who understand the past are the ones who recognize the future. Subscribe to DarkEra Chronicles and step deeper into the shadows of time, where the real stories live. How ancient Rome really fell, secrets revealed.